Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Culture Review. I'm not sure why none of my buttons seem to be working in a timely fashion on this end, but we're here with four of us. There's four of us, and maybe soon there'll be a fifth person, but we don't necessarily need a fifth Beatle. We just need you, all of you out there in the audience, and I want to say thanks for showing up to the Sunday Culture Review. We've got Dr. Dragon out there. We got Floral. We got Das Wolfen. We've got Dragon Master 360, Low Spec. We got Roll Tide, Keely Chow, Grumpy Old Ninja Kitaro, and Judicana. Jaffo's out there, Randall Orser, our buddy Wes, who's on the panel, and of course, Olaf Von S. We've got the ever lovely Tina Bojan, Shawnee Step, and so many more, including Hamdinga. Hey, there's Sultan Al Fahim. Good to see you, my friend, along with many others, including our friend Emotionally Unstable Amphibian. Oh, it's going to be a good day. Soul Assassin's in the house. Katina Martin's in the house. Man, I love it. Rob Altus is in the house. Oh, we just went live. All right. We're going to get started because we don't have a lot of time today. Makity started on a new drawing. Let's show off what Makity's doing. What are you doing, Makity?
Can I ask you a question, Culture?
Yeah.
So you said we don't need a fifth Beatle. So which is which? I guess in the case of the Beatles.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you're Ringo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Wes is like the talent, so he's probably John.
Right.
Whoa! I thought you were going to say Stuart Sutcliffe. Wow, that's high praise indeed.
You got AFK as probably George, and
okay.
I'm probably Paul.
Yeah,
okay.
He's kind of a spaz dork. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
totally fine with that.
Yeah, so if we're talking Beatles, but it looks like you're starting a new drawing.
Yes, this is page 32. Not page 31, because there's page 31 is actually done and the video is almost ready to go. Page 32, but this is going to be a special drawing because of our guest, our first guest for this season. We are extending the lovely Arwen Avalon is going to be stopping by. We're going to basically do an extended 1-year anniversary celebration that she did on Friday on her channel. So that'd be my way of doing, because I'm going all witches this month. I'm drawing Arwen as a witch. So
is that really a message you want to send out there?
I'm drunk. I'm sorry. There. I've drawn nothing but witches this month.
Witches are hot, man.
And plus, my channel membership stuff is all witches. Okay, so I did not mean it that. Okay, you know what I mean, Culture. Come on.
All right. Calm down. Speaking of calm down, Wes is here, and this dude exudes calm and collectedness. Collectiveness. You're cool. You're a cool customer. Cool as a cucumber. What's going on, Wes? In a minute. How you doing, man?
It's great. Always a pleasure to be here on the Sunday Culture Review. Looking forward to talking some She-Hulk. Whatever cast is growing leaps and bounds. We're almost we're past the halfway point of where the old channel was. It's interesting starting a new channel. We've got the mix of old and new. We have some of our fans of the old channel, and then whatever cast is also kind of finding its own audience. So it's surreal. It's different growing a second time than it was the first time. And you know what they say, once you've done something once, it gets easier every time.
That's absolutely 100% true. But I'm glad you're back and up and at 'em. And if you're not subscribed to Makity or Wes, you should probably go do that. Well, actually, stay here. Open a new tab.
Yeah, open a new tab.
Yeah,
Don't.
Speaking of staying here, another longtime panelist. These three folks have been on this show longer than I can even remember. It's been forever. But AFK wraps up the crew. What's going on, AFK?
Sup? I'm here to hang out and have my dog occasionally bark. Happy Sunday, y'all.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Happy Sunday indeed. We have some sad news that we're going to start out with, and actually this hits me a little harder than most because there used to be a trade paper or an insider paper that used to be valuable. It was valuable for one reason: the person that created it, that launched it, that made it into something. A person who was a longtime Hollywood journalist, and they are no longer with us. We have to say rest in peace to Nikki Finke, founder of Deadline and longtime entertainment journalist. She was 68 years old. She had a rough go with an illness. She died in Boca Raton this morning. That's not great news. Now, this was the paper, the one that's highlighted here, Deadline, that basically told the truth. She went around and asked everybody the tough questions, and she got the answers. And she was oftentimes given scoops and inside dirt that none of the other trades were going to carry because they were there to puff things. And Nikki didn't do that. Nikki went swinging for the fences, and it's even acknowledged here in this article, which is a brief read. It's very, very much well worth it. This is a person, who hit middle age and said, you know what, I'm going to start my own thing, and did in 2006. It was the major player in Hollywood. It was the paper everybody went to if they wanted to know the dirt and the actual information of everything. Once she sold off her site, she became very hard to get a hold of, very hard to reach. She basically transformed entertainment journalism for as long as she could, and then when she left, well, it turned into everything else. It turned into PMC and all the other stuff, and of course they put her famous tagline for when she was right with her signature, "Told ya." She was often doing that, and she was very good at it, and she hired a great staff to operate while she kept doing it. And again, after the sale, everything changed, so it's a real bummer. That's we don't often have lions. That was an actual lion, or lioness in this case. I don't know, did you guys remember the difference between Deadline then and now?
Yeah, it's kind of weird for me. There was like this weird kind of jumping off point where I was very aware of it growing up, and it was like Deadline was like a hard time thing. It was like this time on Deadline, blah blah blah. And then like I didn't hear about it forever, and then like there was a disconnect in my head where when I started encountering Deadline articles, I was just like, man, this kind of sucks. And then like now, and like seriously, this was what actually connected the two in my head, because when you said, remember when Deadline was, and I was like, oh, holy crap, that was Deadline.
Yeah. So, I mean, originally she was a columnist at LA Weekly or something like that, one of the other papers, and she turned that column into that site. West, in your neck of the woods, I'm sure everybody knew who Nikki Finke was.
Oh yeah. My stepdad, he worked in television production, and so that was kind of a thing for him. They were always involved in rumors and the trades and stuff.
Yeah, and Joker Voice, now Deadline and Variety owned by the same company. Yes, they are. That was the problem. The minute Nikki sold, things changed. It was no bueno.
Yeah, that in of itself pretty much is like a summary of everything nowadays. It was, and then this is what it is.
Yeah, and then it's a shame. And those changes, those changes are marked in time. Let's just put it that way. Marked in time, the difference. But
well, now I'm starting to get depressed.
Sorry.
It's Sunday morning.
Let me lift up your day. Let's get
some spirits up. Come on.
All right, you ready? This is an amazing show, right? It is a comedy, something that at points in time is a little rom-com-y. Sometimes it's like just a little screwball. Maybe there's some slapstick in there. This is probably one of the best shows if you're looking for something that's not any of those things I just described. And of course, I'm talking about She-Hulk. That's right. She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode 8 just wrapped up. Ribbit and Ribbit. What'd you think?
I heard this was subtitled "The Walk of Shame."
Yeah. But there's this is one of those things that I think, I don't know, isn't this culturally uplifting? Wes, I'm curious what your opinion is, because you've not been here in a bit.
Well, I mean, I haven't been watching the show, but I did see the controversy regarding the alleged lampooning of and I guess attack of our good friend Doomcock, and I watched the clip in question. And, I will say for that brief 10 seconds, it was entertaining for me. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, they brought back an amazing character in Matt Murdock, Daredevil.
Oh, I mean, I did see that part.
Paid by Charlie Cox. And then at the very end, they brought in the Intelligentsia, where the bad guys are, well, guess who? Us. We're the bad guys, everybody. Thank you. Though you're a bad guy, I'm a bad guy. Makani's a bad guy. AFK's a bad guy.
I am.
Yeah, we're all the bad guys because we criticize this show. When, in all honesty, I mean, the bad guys are the people kind of going, and destroying, these characters. And I hate this outfit, by the way.
So
how you know you're a bad guy. When you deny being a bad guy, it secretly means you really are a bad guy, I guess, is what it is. Yeah.
And when you embrace it, then you're actually a good guy. Right.
I don't know. You're still a bad guy. You've just admitted it, and now you really deserve a canceling. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. They really don't like men, and all of that. They don't want the male gaze, and yet they present She-Hulk like that. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Hey, don't forget about men in the chat. Right. They hate all of us. They hate you too. They hate TZ Bird. They hate you. Curtis, they hate you. Andrew, they hate you. TZ Burton's going to stand with the bad guys. Me too. Canadians.
I do feel like if Vic gets another shot at making Star Trek, that she could actually be, she could actually be, an Orion woman.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. So last week, we were called bad guys last week, right? And another show that we'll talk about later said that we were patently evil for this same thing of having an opinion. To them, this is my response.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
You know what? You need to make her boobs bigger just to thumb them in the eye.
I'm gonna twirl my
Snidely
mustache.
Whiplash in the background.
Yeah.
But look, this show is what it is. I don't blame Tatiana Maslany. I don't blame I don't blame any. I don't blame the actors, although
Writers.
I do blame their takes. I blame the writers. I blame the showrunner primarily. Look, if you hate men, then why are you sleeping with them 3 times in 8 episodes? I mean,
it's supposed to be empowering. It's empowering. Yeah. Come on.
I don't feel very empowered. And if you didn't want to irritate your audience, why did you start off the episode recapping the twerking and all the other things that, it's because you're trying to play off of the audience that doesn't like you.
This is what makes it Sex in the City with Hulk. Because this is what they did in every episode of Sex and the City. When you consider it, they slept with a guy like in almost every episode. Then they would talk about the guy, they would belittle it or whatever. But it was just like, the girls' show. And I feel like they're treating it like that with this, which is like making it not a superhero relatable show to anybody. It's literally just like the girls go to the bathroom and gossip show.
Yeah,
and
they're treating it like they're treating like that with this. Although I would disagree with you on one thing, AFK. They're treating like that with this, but failing miserably at it.
Oh, right. Yeah. At least Sex in the City had good writing. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference.
You could still treat guys like crap, but at least have a really good, compelling story with it, which Sex and the City did. But this is like
none of that.
This is twerking and making fun of dudes.
Nano Reaper just said it exactly, just what you were saying there. AFK She-Hulk is just Sex in the City with CGI,
with crappy CGI, but totally that's what
bad writing.
And it's
She-Hulk in the City. There you go.
It just comes off as more misandrous than anything else. You're sorry.
To talk about objectifying. Yeah, I mean, honestly, here look at Jen drooling over this blind dude, right? And at the end of the episode, skipping the whole proper dating thing and jumping right into the sack. It's a very strange thing. And we did lose Judy Tenuta to ovarian cancer. If you remember The Love Goddess, she was a very funny comedian back when I was younger.
Aww.
She passed away at 72. That did happen this week. Thank you, Cavatinho Cavalryman. Of course, Olaf von S just sent us a super chat for €2. Thank you, my friend. Says more like Fiona McBeal in Shrek's in the City. Whoa, hey now, well done.
Oof,
I have not heard that before.
That's good. That's good.
Bang. Yeah, I think that's a good one too.
That's an oof right there.
Yeah, it was an oof. I don't know. Look, the audience isn't digging this show, right? And of course, we could show the picture of the Walk of Shame, which is completely character breaking, to be honest with you.
At the very least.
Judy Tenuta, the Love Goddess, did pass away a couple days ago now. Unfortunately, yeah, we lost her. She was great. She was indeed very funny. But it's sad. I can't believe how many people we're losing right now. It's like an accelerated rate of humans. But I want to focus in on the fact that nobody is really digging the show. And Wes, you said you weren't watching. There's a lot of people not watching, and the ones that are not super stoked. I would say.
Yeah, I've been on this serial killer kick lately, watching the John Wayne Gacy tapes and the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes, and I don't know. I just have this to say: I think John Wayne Gacy is much scarier than Jeffrey Dahmer. I feel like he had a fighting chance with Dahmer, but John Wayne Gacy, game over. Yeah, higher body count too.
Yeah, wow, no kidding. There were a lot of like very prolific serial killers from the late 60s through like the mid 90s, I would say. And now, I mean, it's like they're no longer a priority, even though we know that there are 9 times more than the FBI is aware of.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or nothing, but Jeffrey Dahmer's father worked for a government contractor as a scientist. And that's kind of weird, isn't it?
But the thing around Wes, the thing around the Dahmer show, right, was that it was portraying a particular group of humans in a non-flattering light, so they didn't want it represented in the way that it was being presented.
It's interesting since you bring that aspect of it up. Well, I mean, wouldn't that serve as a cautionary tale for that community? Or I would think. Look out.
Well, anything that paints it in a bad light is a bad thing. That's the way that works nowadays. You can't portray anything that is like protected in a bad way, because that's like you're trying to like attack it in some way.
Hey, I don't know that Dahmer's, like you said, I mean, I don't know that Dahmer's story, would be complete without, acknowledging that his targets and why they were targeted. And I'm sorry,
you're attacking us, culture. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's the takeaway, right? Because I'm like, people are represented that in the past that I wouldn't want to be affiliated with, but unfortunately they share the same pallor or melanin content. They, maybe they had an affinity for long hair. Maybe they had a similar, genetic makeup. I don't think that that's relevant, but you don't. And let me tell you right now, you don't see tags for cisgender, serial killer stuff. So,
Yeah. So hey.
And
I feel like if I had round glasses and a certain mustache, I would have a passing resemblance to Himmler. I don't know.
Oh, careful now.
You mean Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin. I said Himmler, not the other.
Yeah. But it's yeah.
Saved you there.
Both played with the bad guys that were taking away citizens' guns, banning free speech, and demonizing one particular group of people. So,
Oh, when things like that come out, I just think to myself, there's probably many, many more that are really good serial killers that just haven't been caught. Because, like, honestly, when you hear stories about that, it's scary how it's just a tiny little thing that catches them up. Like, if like one guy, I don't remember which one it was, but like somebody had like got a parking ticket or something really stupid like that. And it's just like, just think, if that one little thing had happened, how many more people would have like disappeared and they never figure it out, you know, like the Zodiac killer. It's like, there's some really good ones out there.
Yeah, they never caught Zodiac. I think you're talking about Son of Sam. That's how they got him.
Yeah.
You know, and it is what it is, but it's a lot of things out there that are just strange. But I think Ruben's right here. I think you're going to see, as you see a forceful destruction in culture and a forceful divide among people, that's being done. You're going to see more an expansion of these underground people that do very bad things, and that's not good for any society. Let's see if we can get 100 people in here, folks. That would be amazing. I would appreciate you sharing the stream.
I thought I would get us on a less depressing topic by talking about serial killers.
Yeah, and you let us right into that serial killer conversation. So congratulations.
You're really slaying it.
You're 2 for 2 today, Wes. But look, I have some good news, and of course, this came 3 days ago, and some people talked about it, but I would like to talk about it more extensively because I think we're misled in a lot of different ways that we don't acknowledge or we don't talk about. So when we get to things like, Nielsen streaming numbers for the top 10, we don't get to see these in a timely fashion. I think that's the best way to describe it. I think we get to see them in not a timely fashion. I think when you're 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out or a month out from when things, happened, there's no perspective to be gained. No real takeaways, right? But we know this in the top 10. Cobra Kai debuted at number 1 when it came out. Rings of Power, apparently just in streaming now, edged out House of the Dragon. Now, why did I say just in streaming? Well, because these numbers don't count the linear views that happen on HBO. And if HBO is reporting the number of views and those are accurate, then HBO show House of the Dragon is slaying this. But Cobra Kai racked up 1.7 billion minutes viewed on Netflix with a premiere on September 7th. And ending 4 days later, 1 plus 3 on September 9th. So, actually, I take that back. That was only 2 days. 9, 10, 11. No, it's just 3 days. I'm sorry. So it's a significant feat, not only because the series ample bump past the 1 billion mark, but because it achieved that number in what ultimately became a historic week streaming. So it beat out the other guys. So September 5 to 11, 4 different platforms crossed 1 billion minutes. And second place was actually the film Thor Cuck and Blunder, which was watched for 1.5 billion minutes upon arriving at Disney Plus on the 8th. 2 months after its theatrical premiere, because nobody's going to pay to see these films anymore, likely. Devil in Ohio hit 1.4 billion minutes. That's impressive. But like I said,
is that another serial killer show?
That I don't know.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to find out. I'm on this kick right now.
No, well, I'm surprised.
Oh, don't worry. I went through a summer like that.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of true crime shows, and then Wikipedia of all the serial killers.
And it doesn't speak. It doesn't speak to your particular frame of mind, Wes. Not at all.
I'm starting to wonder. Okay. Since we're on the subject, have you ever seen the serial killers do mundane things in these shows, and then you're like, oh man, I do that, and it freaks you out a little bit.
And they're always the ones that people are like, I never knew.
And
They seemed so normal.
Yeah, it was a quiet guy. Wes was such a quiet young man.
I just want to point out for anybody who has that mindset later on, generally serial killers don't walk up to their friends and brag about that stuff. That's probably why they seem normal. They're probably saying, yeah, I went to the grocery store, instead of saying, oh, I was out back killing somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was chopping a head off and having sex with it.
Yeah, I was chopping lumber.
Brag about stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh boy. All right. Back to it. Come on. Swing it back.
The good stuff.
Let's go back to something less violent and talk about Rings of Power and House of the Dragon, because there's no violence in those.
Can we take one tiny little pause just to give Cobra Kai the love that it needs? Not to just speed bump it to go onto the crap, but Cobra Kai is awesome. I don't even watch it, but I can feel the awesome by everybody who loves it. So good for them. Sorry, continue.
True story. No, you're right. I mean, it deserves the love, right? Yeah. We are definitely not doctors. So anything that Wes described about that,
talk to your doctor.
Talk to your doctor about being murdered by a serial killer. But anyway,
exactly. We won't want to spread misinformation on getting killed by a serial killer.
There are.
It's entirely possible that you could still be alive for a couple of seconds when that happens.
Wes.
I know.
We got 90 people trying to get the audience over 100. This is not going to help.
This ain't helping. It's not helping, Wes. Come on.
All right.
Sorry.
The Lord of the Rings
puppies and kittens.
The Lord of the Rings prequel series, Rings of Power, and the Game of Thrones prequel series, House of the Dragon, beating its competitor for the second week in a row, though this time by a smaller margin. And again, this is only streaming minutes, so this is disingenuous, right? So, and I think they actually finally call this out later on here. Namely in favor of Rings of Power is the fact that it's streaming exclusive on Amazon Prime Video. Therefore, all of its viewership on U.S. screens is accounted for on the top 10. Nielsen doesn't measure viewing outside the country on other devices, but the House of Dragon airs on HBO's cable channel in addition to the streaming HBO Max. This means a significant number of viewers aren't being factored in here. That's right, like a lot of them. Potential as much as 1/3 of the show's audience based on viewership premiere night, when 3.2 million out of 9.9 million total viewers tuned in live on HBO. So it's essentially leaving out like a giant chunk of people, which means it would completely kick the booty of Rings of Power.
Yeah, it's like there were like a few people who went in the front door, y'all, but there was like 300 more in the back, but don't pay attention to that. Just the ones in the front that you need to pay attention to.
Speaking of ones in the front, we got Fat Steven.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey, Fat Steven.
What is JF? Wait,
Just a fat gamer.
Oh, you're not just a fat gamer.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Back to your story.
All right. So, yeah, and welcome. So Rings of Power. Therefore, the 2 episodes of the Rings of Power were available to stream for the entirety of 5/11, while episode 3 didn't arrive until September 9. So by contrast, the first 3 episodes of Hot D were available for the entirety of the viewing window, with the added bonus of episode 4. So that's why. And I think that's why it was significant that Joker voice brought up the fact, as I scrolling, that brought up the fact that they're counting the total number of minutes right here, which means if the show releases 3 episodes, is of course going to be more minutes viewed, just like what happened with Cobra Kai. And with that, we're going to bring in another guest. It's the Mirrorsphere's Origin. What's up, Mirrorsphere?
Hell, guys, what's going on?
Good to see you. So, yeah, there is a lot going on here and a lot to digest. I don't think people look at it that critically, although this audience obviously does. You guys are keeping track of that, and I really appreciate it. It's interesting to look at the numbers as they're broken down, right? With Netflix being 1.7 billion with Cobra Kai when it dropped. And, that's, of course, top streaming programs overall. You can see that the narrow window the narrow margin between the Rings of Power and House of the Dragon is very, very small, 200 million minutes or less. And you see that those are probably easily that means HBO Max's House of the Dragon probably very much easily destroys Rings of Power when you factor in the linear viewing. So.
You need to clip this and send this to also She-Hulk and all the cast of She-Hulk who don't understand the difference between streaming and original series too.
Oh yeah, most of them.
Yeah.
Don't.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
There is some good news though. I want to quickly segue because you mentioned Joker and I know you're going to Joker voice, but did you see Todd McFarlane's announcement that supposedly he secured, I think, the director for Joker for the new Spawn movie?
No, I did not. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, good to know. We also, and thank you for that interruption, Stephen, because
Sorry.
that's awesome news. No, I just said thank you. But also, I get to say that we have a member chat from Ironcaster that says culture is making so many flower beds human-sized. Well, you know, not wrong.
No. It's you have to invest in a pig farm.
Oh yeah, that works too.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true.
And Scott Westbrook sends us a super chat, which I appreciate very much. My friend. Let me grab that real quick. And this is calling out a problem I think that I don't know how to solve at this point. Let me. Wow, it's way down here. I'm way behind on the chat, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I've been having the same problem with Gary's. Like, I remember his stream, and I never get his notification anymore. It's like the third or fourth week in a row.
And that's happening a lot. But Scott Westbrook for $5 says no notification again. Thank you for the contribution, my friend. Says wishing you a great year. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you, man.
Sorry. Well, I got two things. The two things is, guys, honestly, if you want notifications, the best bet to try is go to the channels you watch the most, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Don't do it all at once because YouTube will flag the channel. Turn the bell off, turn the bell back on. It's the same thing with gifted membership. Sometimes you have to go in and reset the settings, turn it off, and then turn it back on. Otherwise, they hang there in limbo. We all know YouTube, even over the last 24 hours with the whole monetization tab leaving, their whole system is in beta testing, even when they're saying they're not beta testing because it just feels broken.
Or I'll just say this, Stephen. I'm going to start using my community tab as another form of notification.
You have to.
So
you have to.
So you will
can't stress that out enough. You have to.
You will start seeing notifications coming from the community tab on my channel and channels eventually. That will let you know when the next live stream is, if the videos come out, all of that, because it's really one of the best ways to do it. Also, if you're a member of my Gilded, it has an automatic notification for every stream and for every video. Speaking of,
I have an alternate method to get notifications that will never fail.
Yeah.
So you go into your Microsoft Outlook 97 and you go to the calendar and you set up the streaming times, and then you'll get an alert.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You killed me.
I love that. Wes, thank you.
You got a 20 from Apollo Mason.
Tina, thank you. Tina Bojan says she's been here for almost 2 years. Thank you, Tina. And thank you, Wes, for a good suggestion on calendar reminders. But She-Hulk heart plus Daredevil heart equals joy. Well, yeah. I mean, for as much as that was what it was, Tina, and I'm glad that you enjoy it. I really am. It's hard for me to take away. It's hard for me to have that takeaway, but I understand why a lot of people do. And speaking of which, we have the ever wonderful Apollomies minion. Now, how are you, dear? I hope you're doing well. Oh, look at the little poopers. Says hello to all on panel. Keep up the wonderful content. Indeed, of course I will. And thank you for being a supporter. And it's so great to see you every time I've been able to see you. And if you're going to be in Orlando, I can't wait to see you. And I'm pretty stoked. I am going to be really really excited in Florida. I'm going to be dropping notifications about where I might be meeting up with people and stuff like that. If you can come and you happen to be in the Orlando area, you're more than welcome to join.
I wish you know.
I'm going to do. I've got some other folks that are going to be joining me in my content house for that period of time, so it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. But thank you so very much for Apollomies, and keep doing what you're doing because we all need you. You make everything work, and I appreciate all that you do, dear. So thank you. I'm choking. All right, so with that. She-Hulk's not exactly performing. I mean,
it's performing badly.
Well, it's not doing what they needed it to do, and this is a problem that I think Disney's having with a lot of their shows. For example, what do you got shared here, Stephen?
That's actually Todd McFarlane's announcement.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool. Okay, sorry. We can do that. Okay, go ahead.
That's up to you. That's why Sharon didn't want to interrupt your show.
Yeah, no, go ahead, man. That's cool.
Todd McFarlane here. News just broke. The update. We've added some big A-list names out of Hollywood to the Spawn team. Let's go through it. Here's the big news today. Scott Silver, the writer of The Joker.
Or the writer.
Also, a couple of my favorite films, 8 Mile and The Fighter.
Oh, wow.
Scott Silver, The Joker, biggest R-rated movie of all time, on board.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm Spellman, he did Falcon and the Winter Soldier for Disney Plus and is currently writing the Captain America movie.
I'm sorry.
He's on board.
No.
And Matt Nixon, who's bringing his voice to this project, along with Jamie Foxx, Jason Blum already attached. It's just going to keep going. Next big news we drop, beginning of next year, hopefully we'll be able to come and bring you the news that it's in production. We've made the deal and it's coming. Just wanted to share some of the super talent that has been added to this team. Here we go. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Malcolm. Thanks, Matt, for jumping in and trusting my character with you and your skill. Let's go.
Thank you, Todd.
I'm
That's
sorry.
awesome.
I meant writer, so my apologies on the misinformation.
No, it was perfect. Thank you for that.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I apologize for that name. I forgot.
Mhm.
It's all right.
Well, I think that might not be as big of an issue because if they have this guy, right, and they put him in there and he had worked on, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, maybe he worked on the parts that were actually good. And I'm saying that in the sense, that like, the message that was kind of thrown through that series and everything like that is not, it clashes with what it would be in this movie. And I feel like he will be kept in going in a specific direction with the people he's working with. Like he won't be as big of a ripple as people might be afraid that he will be. But that's just me being positive.
Yeah, and
we'll see.
Yeah, Logic's Finest brings up a good point. He spoke to Chris Claremont at New York Comic Con yesterday. Wow, and he told me that he thinks the MCU died with Endgame. I agree. He hates everything after Endgame. So do I. Talked to me for 25 minutes. That's awesome.
I like No Way Home. That was beautiful.
That's not it. I'm not counting that as MCU. That's Sony. Okay, Sony just lent. Spider-Man
Okay, well, as long as we can say that was a good one, because he was saying
it's an epilogue. I'd say it's an epilogue.
There's two other things that came out. Supposedly Oscar Isaac just leaked that there is a season 2 of Moon Knight coming, and we're not done with Moon Knight. Well, that's not for sure. We have The Rock leaking the fact that we might be getting Cavill Superman in the third act of Black Adam.
Yeah, that's all but confirmed now.
Yeah, it is all but confirmed. And then we have the 3-minute teaser trailer, the longest teaser trailer in my life for Star Trek. And I'm like, I'm not even going to get into that one.
Well, actually, that's funny because I just put that up there. It says, CultureCasino asked Steven about the teaser trailer he watched yesterday.
Oh, my God. Shay, I hate you so much right now. Okay, let's lay it down here first. Moriarty is in this, okay? First of all, Moriarty has been trapped in an everlasting gobstopper, aka a holodeck, with his love, thinking he never left. He actually left the holodeck and left the Enterprise to explore the universe as a free hologram. And technically, that thing was destroyed in one of the I think the Enterprise D when it blew up, right? Mm-hmm. So where's he coming from? Secondly, Laura's an android, and unless they're going to tell us why he looks old as an android, he's old. Doesn't make sense. And then we have Beverly Crusher is somehow turned into Rogue, like an old Rogue from the X-Men movies. It's weird to look at her. The whole thing doesn't make sense. And what I'm thinking they're doing is, because there's a lot of the Briar Patch they're showing in this, is their main enemy just going to be the Maquis? That's the way it feels. An over-souped up ship that from the Maquis taking vengeance after the Cardassian stuff went down. That's what I'm getting. It feels like, and Worf's now a pacifist.
Speaking as someone who stopped watching it after like the first episode, that sounds just like somebody reached into a bag of just random names of things from Star Trek, because none of it made sense. And when you got to the Maquis part, I was like, the heck? That sounds awful.
I will add one thing. They have kept up with canon with one thing. Deanna Troi is still crying. It has been generations and she's still crying.
Oh, and she's not really good at her job still.
I don't know, but
I can sense he's angry, Captain. What, did the yelling not give it away?
See, there's also a side point, and that comes from the RMB side of things, that he's already seen some of the stuff, he's read some of the scripts, and he says it has promise. So I'm going to put that in the back of my head too. As much as this might be like, hey fans, here you go, finally. It still falls under the Disney perspective. Wait till the end, you might get something good. I'm sorry, if we're going to invest in a series, we want to invest from the start, middle, and end. We're not going to like every episode. We're going to like enough of it that we want to continue through. Not like we're punishing ourselves under the pretense, well, we're doing it for you or we're doing it for this. It's their entertainment can only last at the end. They can't maintain it throughout, and that's why these series are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And when they're saying the final season, I'm taking that into consideration, that hopefully Kurtz will never touch Trek again. You know what I mean? It's just
exactly,
dude. I just
3-minute teaser. 3-minute teaser. You just spoiled everything.
These shows need a Chef Ramsay. And I'm saying that in the sense that this is a lot like those failing restaurants in those shows where they think they're doing everything fine, but they don't understand why people aren't coming and getting their food, right? And then throughout the episode, Ramsay comes in and yells at them, points out how stupid they are. And at the end, you get to figure out whether or not they learn from their mistakes or not. But like, I feel like we need a Ramsay for these movies or television shows to be like, this is an effing stupid choice. You know?
But
AFK, French pig.
But AFK, you've nailed it. That's what fans have been criticizing for the last, let's say, 3 years as an estimate. We are the Chef Ramsays. It is one voice, but of many voices. We're all criticizing the same thing: where their plot holes are, where they're doing it wrong, how they can fix it, and we get called. Yeah, but we're also
we need a Ramsay because they won't listen to the customers. That's the issue, you know.
Well,
sorry.
Go ahead. One at a time.
We hold the bills, we hold the money, we hold the eyes, we hold the views, we hold the play buttons. We are technically the Ramsays. It's the same way when Ramsay comes in. He's trying to clean up shop, teach them how to chef, how to work as a unit. And the only difference is Ramsay's not being called an istophobe and whatever. But the fans are the Ramsays. The problem is they just don't like it. That's why they trample all over us and the fandoms. They'd
rather their business close out of stubbornness.
And it'll
really
open up a child. But
now I see Ramsay just like telling Jessica Gao and JD Payne and Patrick McKay, "What are you, an idiot sandwich?"
Can you just throw him over to the She-Hulk place? That'd be so awesome.
I want to put it this way, though. I'll stop after this one. Like after TNG, you guys think about it this way: they're either going for Voyager next, because they already have 7 of 9, or they're going after DS9 next. And I hope to God they don't touch DS9.
Take your pick.
They've already taken this Picard and made the Federation the Dominion.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you to all of you who've joined the show. We are over 107 viewers now. We are on our way upwards. Thank you all. Please
onwards and upwards.
Or some of them are bots apparently, but go ahead and hit the like button anyway. Because
don't worry, I'm in the chat clearing them out.
I don't understand why my sponsor keeps coming over here. I thought Best Adult Dating Site was my sponsor. You whore!
I know, right? Jeez,
I'm digging it. Yeah,
Wes, you deserve better sponsors, okay?
And they want to go. They want to go after DS9 for a reason, because it had all of the diversity swirl that they're looking to impose upon us all now. And
you got Cisco.
No, Cisco is still off in the wormhole with.
But that's the thing. They could bring it back, right? No, they could have an answer for it. They could be like, "Hey, we've got a stupid excuse to bring him back."
Yeah, and Kate, you know what? Kate's 100% right here, and a lot of you have said similar. The problem is they don't want to admit that things are failing. That's true. We've seen that in real time. And when they acknowledge it, like what was happening with Zaslav over at Warner Brothers, everybody turns on them. And they definitely don't want to reverse course. That's 100% right, Kate. And it's not about promoting it. Oh, excuse me. It is about promoting the leftist message of intersectionality above all, and many other things. Again, it's all about division, right? Put you all in little boxes to break you apart. Look, we can disagree on a lot of stuff, and I don't have to be put in a box for that. You know what I mean?
Well, I love all you guys.
Yeah, it's a case where either they're going to deny it, either they're going to deny it, or either they're going to deny it and it's going to keep failing and it's going to bring to the surface that more and more regular people are noticing, or they're going to pull something stupid like Joe Glass and say something that pretty much opens up how truly evil that they are.
There's one more thing also that bothers me with this is because we have LeVar Burton coming back, as much as he blocked me because he has hurt Fifi's. He coming back, but the last thing I remember about LeVar Burton is him complaining that they made Geordi look like a sexual deviant. Okay, I'm sorry. So what? You're going back to the TNG crew just to be what? They get do it again, or are you going to make up for it? How are you going to do? Is Brahms going to come in halfway through? I don't get why they're doing that. Well, I understand why they're doing. I just don't get why they need to. It's not going to save everything because you can't make up for 2 seasons with 1 season because no one's going to acknowledge the other 2 seasons. They're just going to watch the 3rd season.
Right.
None of them are interlinked.
No, and it's all very bad storytelling. But I'm going to tell you this much, and you're going to see it in a video I've got coming out this week. The Star Trek Bohr film is dead again for the 6th time. No, I mean it's dead. It was.
Let me ask you this,
yeah,
because that film has been in development hell for God knows how long.
5 or 6 years, maybe.
Was that J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay behind that one? Or was that a different set of writers? Because it sounds like
no. I mean, I think the last guy tied to it was Matt Shackman, but I could think Shackman. Yeah.
And no, DS9 and B5, I don't think had anything similar. I know that there's a whole debate going on, but they're very 2 different shows. That yes, they had similarities, but they were very different how they're broadcasting. The one thing I want to keep eyes on is that supposedly Straczynski has a secret Babylon 5 project it's already no one knows. That's a saving grace.
It's already in the works. Yeah, there are two competing Babylon 5 projects, and we can talk about that on next Sunday because I was going to focus in strictly on sci-fi next Sunday. No, it's fine. This is my wheelhouse. This is the stuff I love, and there's a lot of things that I think we're all going to be able to talk about next weekend that are going to be showing up this week in Culture.
You've seen Bullet Train, right?
Yeah, it's good.
All right, I gotta go way to sum up Hollywood. There's too many diesels in Hollywood, right?
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah, I think I saw you tweet that today.
I just finished watching. It was my morning movie when I was cleaning up the office, and I was like, all right, I like this.
Yeah, it's very good. Brad Pitt, and they kill the bad girl at the end of the film. It's fantastic. And I just spoiled it, but you aren't going to care. You aren't going to care. It's still a good film. But look, Logic's Finest says again, and this is 100% accurate because Ronald D. Moore has been making great stuff for a long time, as Wes knows because he's like a Battlestar Galactica fan as well. And Ronald D. Moore was a great Star Trek person and everything else. He did have a great idea for revisiting DS9 20 years after we left. It says he details it in a documentary, What We Left Behind.
It's a great documentary.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was so fun. They storyboarded it.
Yeah. I actually went to the theater to see it with my fellow nerds, and it was a great experience.
Yeah.
I got a poster and everything.
You know what sucks? Nice. I can't get an interview with the actress who played Ivanova until the Babylon 5 project drops. She says she will not do any interviews talking about Babylon 5 until it comes out. That was her reply.
I agree with Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. We need Mindy Kaling to write the Babylon 5 reboot.
Get out of here. Get out.
Okay, then we can get J.J. Abrams on your favorite Dungeons and Dragons series.
Let me tell you that the Dungeons and Dragons film, the 5th one or whatever it is, the one that's about to come out, is going to be garbage.
Well, it's based on 5e, so
it's going to be bad.
Oh, great! I really want to see Chris Pine in a wheelchair saying diversity spells word.
And yeah, you're right. Battlestar Galactica 2005 is the best TV show of the past 20 years. Complex.
That was beautiful. It had gender and race swap, and you know what? Screw that. It was still a great series.
Beautiful writing, right? Beautiful writing. Yeah. I don't know, Wes. It stayed true to the character of that entire concept. Yeah.
The only downside is the shaky cam.
What were we talking about?
Battlestar.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
2005. Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah,
I never got into Battlestar. So I am worried about the new Stargate. That scares me.
I don't want to.
Stargate was my thing.
About that. I'm kind of worried, to be honest with you. And look, this is 100% right. Heron of Alexander says J.D. Abrams is the reaper of franchises. Eloquent. Well put.
I give it. I give it a bit of time. I have a feeling he's going to try to go after a cyberpunk movie. I have a weird feeling he's going to go after that next.
He seemed so innocent back when he had things that were tasty.
And I'm going to say this right now: the backlash is going to be on a level that we have never seen, unfathomably. If he even thinks about, even doing anything related to cyberpunk.
I have a feeling. I don't know what it is.
Oh wow. Okay, is it like a sneeze only different? Anyway, Andrew 4062 says Spellcast Victimhood. Yes, that is the new Dungeons and Dragons film, I would imagine. They'll be able to cast that everywhere. And BSG was good until it started repeating itself and copped out on the series finale. I think they could have landed they could have landed it better, Liam. And I didn't really appreciate the, what was Starbuck really kind of a thing. But I think that's a lot of modernity that it started to edge in there a little bit. Not in a way that we get it, in other places. And I think Logic's Finest is correct here. I think Tricia Helfner and Grace Park became better actors. I think they're incredible actors. Loved every moment of it.
Dude, that was like, honestly, Tricia was the sexiest thing about that show for me. Whenever she was on scene.
Grace Park.
One of the best voices of Sonya Blade.
Scene stopper. Oh, and by the way, male gaze. that show had plenty of that available.
Oh, jeez. Hey, I'm talking about Trisha. The things she wore. Woof.
Wes, your sponsor's back.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, just hid your sponsor.
Yeah, Wes. I thought they were sponsoring you. I mean, I like the crossover.
I didn't know your middle name was Chat69.
It's so crazy. But Joker Voice for $5 says, until entertainment companies stop taking money from companies promoting DEI, or I call it DIE, and ESG, the culture shift will never happen.
You said, what was it? One
of the things that actually needs to happen, and I'm going to say it out here, and I'm going to say it here out loud, is that we need an entity that will stand up to corporate decision makers and prevent ESG. There are functions of law that make ESG already illegal.
Right. Didn't Mike, Mexican Iron Man, say that in a recent Midnight's Edge stream? Something about similar to that. ESG is gonna hit a boiling point to where everybody's gonna turn on it.
Yeah, and we're already there. And Heron of Alexandria has become a YouTube member. Thank you.
Welcome to the fold.
Heron, I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting everybody. But speaking of supporting everybody, you guys didn't go see a movie. And you know what? Somebody's really upset about it. And it's now going on 2 weeks of just absolute carnage.
There's a lot of movies that we've been lambasted for not wanting to see it. You have to be more specific, Culture.
I am not going to go watch Bros. I am not going to look at Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I would rather just stand in front of a mirror and look at myself naked if I want to be offended. Okay?
But Billy's mad at you, Steven. He's mad. He's upset.
I don't even know.
It's so is Viola Davis, but I'm not seeing.
Good. You know what they can do? They can make a movie together.
Bros and the Broman King.
You didn't go see this film. Wes, you didn't go see this film. Why didn't you go see this film?
I didn't know it existed. But here's a problem for me. When you see BROS, so some people pronounce it bros and some people say brothers. Like some people, I know it sounds weird. I always called it Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
But some people call it Super Mario Bros. And then Dutch Brothers, some people, apparently the official name of Dutch Brothers is Dutch Bros.
What?
I know. I saw it on Undercover Boss. They call it Dutch Bros. That's what it is. That's the real name.
The problem with this film is that it was supposed to be a comedy to highlight gay relationships or whatever, right? But technically, they made a comedy out of a softcore porn. That's what my understanding is.
And I want to make a disagreement statement because people saying that there was no ads or advertising for this film. There was plenty of it. Plenty of it. I'm in. I work in. It's cats out of the bag. Yes, I work in San Francisco. There were plenty of ads for Bros all over the BART trains. For this film, there are plenty of ads of Bros.
I rarely see any ads or trailers at all. Like I just avoid them. I don't try to find them and whatever. But I recall seeing the Bros one several times. So
I see it every time. I see those ads. Those ads are still up on most of the BART stations during my morning commute. So.
Yeah.
Chrissy Meyer on Twitter literally showed how empty the theater was. It was Birds of Prey repeating itself all over.
Oof, it was great. And Chrissy's reaction and everybody's around Chrissy's reaction was brilliant. I mean, we've actually, it's funny because as we continue to mock all this modernity and garbage that they're putting in entertainment, they get more and more angry, and we get farther into their heads. We were talking about, and Wes referred to it. We were talking about it in She-Hulk, and they can't handle it. They don't understand that, I don't care if you feel victimized, because we were critical of something you did. That bothers them because they think they could roll out this victim card anytime, which is what Billy Eichner did after telling you not to come see his film Bigot.
It's the same. Like the whole Dubcock thing. It's like it's not common. It's not uncommon because it's been a thing in comics a couple of times. I remember one of the comic YouTubers getting mocked at in one of the books that he was criticizing, and honestly, because this is happening a lot more often, you just take it and accept it. You just take it and just be proud of it because it oftentimes backfires on them
all the time.
Every time that happens.
All the time. It's not oftentimes. Okay. It's all the time, dude. This has backfired 5 times in a row, and it's going to continue to go that direction because more people are awake, right? Yeah. I'm starting to find less pushback on stuff.
And keep in mind, Jordan Peterson, he was mocked by both Ta-Nehisi Coates and Olivia Wilde, and that only made him more relevant and popular. You've only backfired.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, when you do something like that, or you attempt to cancel somebody or whatever, you only make them more powerful. Speaking of which, Dr. Dragon mentions that VR is going to be having his stream later today. He's killing it, Italian Renegade. And he's going to talk about Rakeda, but he's also going to talk about, and I would imagine that WDW will be on with him.
He will be.
That DeSantis and Disney are basically going to resolve what's going on there, and Disney could be bending their knee to Ron DeSantis because they need help. They need help with the Reedy Creek stuff, and they know that they can't shed the liability even though the district is being removed.
There's also probably, I think, a possibility that Pro might be bringing something about High Republic. Oh, joy. So
let's get High Republic. All right. Good times. Tom is in the chat. He said something funny. I laughed. I miss Tom. He's probably going to hang out with me tonight. I hope. But yeah, and this is the best point ever from Mr. Randall Orzer, saying even gay folks aren't going to see this. That's right. Eichner mentioned Chris Evans as one of the characters. That would have been a draw, maybe, but I wouldn't have brought anybody to see the film. There were themes in this film in the way that they were portrayed that wasn't going to have broad appeal, right? And it doesn't have anything to do with this word. Homophobia, bologna sausage. We keep talking about some of the great films that have gay characters in them. And because these people can't see farther back than 2 or 3 years, they don't grasp the concept of history.
Wait. I have a huge problem with this right now. I'll be really quick. How could not going to see a gay oriented film be homophobia? Are they going to jump out of the screen and touch me inappropriately? How does that work?
Sorry, it loses all meaning at this point. These words,
are the cups shaped differently? Am I going to get sexually attracted to my straw, wanting to have a drink? What is the deal with this?
It's such a stupid, blind thing to say when the whole thing that we're talking about is it's over the top stereotypes, right? To the point where just looking at the trailer, the movie itself is kind of homophobic in the sense that they think that everybody is this particular way, right? The way it's portrayed, everything nowadays is we have to have a movie with gay people, right? So let's make it a gay movie. So they're going to have quote unquote gay problems and they're all going to act quote unquote gay ways. When in real life, people just have normal reactions to things and they might be gay. So it's things like that, or with Batwoman, with the whole every episode had to be a gay problem, and it's that's not how life works.
The world works. No, you're right. That's beautifully said, AFK. I have the same problems that everybody else has, and we all do. That's the problem. We're more unified than we are divided. We just have to get back to realizing those things. You've heard it a million times in that platitude. Go ahead, Marisphere. I know you wanted to say something, buddy.
No, it's the same thing over and over. They always attack people. You don't like black people on screen. You don't like white women on screen. You don't like it. It's like just shut up.
It's the same. Yeah, same for that. Black ways, like if you have a movie or a story with black family, they have to have black problems in every episode with what they think it is just so upsetting because that's what they think the life is like.
Stereotypical. It's incredibly stereotypical. It's the same shit. I'm talking about. I was talking about a couple times before. Listen.
It's like that comedian.
You treat regular people. Treat black people as regular people. Treat gay people as regular people. We're regular people. We're still as regular as everybody else.
And Logic's
that's the best representation is just treat them as regular people like everybody else with problems, with issues, and with stuff they're dealing with. It doesn't have to fall into a stereotype. It doesn't have to be this, especially something like Bros. It doesn't have to be this, twink Tim Drake, froppy, flamboyantly gay guy that even Will and Grace would go over, say that's a bit overboard on.
Well, but I mean,
it doesn't have to be like that.
It does.
Sorry.
And everybody right now in the chat is bringing out all of these things that, that just go against these stereotypes that are just, they're the only vehicle that these people have to work with. They lack the ability to tell a cohesive story, something that's compelling, something that people will relate to and fall in love with, and so when they in service of promotion, because they rely on the attention economy, because your attention is valuable. And if you watch the video I did last week, it dives into this concept, but it's the fact that this was the only way this guy thought that this could get in front of a lot of eyeballs. And this is the only way the studio thought that this could get in front of a lot of eyeballs. And the press was worth more than the financial benefit from this, because again, it's going to be utilized over and over again. Well, you remember that nobody went to see Charlie's Angels. Well, you called the whole audience before they showed up a bunch of misogynists and other things, and said this movie isn't made for you. Look, the minute you start deciding that you aren't making a movie for everybody, you have a problem.
Yeah, you're basically saying not everybody's going to go see this movie. And when you make a movie, you want everybody to see your movie. It's the stupidest, you're shooting yourself in the foot before you even step out the door.
Remember in 1982 when Steven Spielberg said, I made a movie for aliens and government employees.
No. He made E.T. for all of us. You're 100% right. And it's those things we're always fighting, right? And it's Kate said it earlier in the stream. Many other people said it in this stream. It's just in service of this message and the messaging that supports the modernity that is being led by globalists. And I don't want to get too deep into the politics and get all steeped up in that. But that's the truth.
It's like that stupid comedian chick was on there the other day, and she's like, black people kind of white people, their brains go numb.
We're watching Bikini Text live. This is fun.
Oh, sorry. So sorry.
We watched, all this group like Blade and all that kind of stuff, which is actually gonna fail because the new Blade movie is like freaking bombing right now.
Well, it's not even they haven't been able to hit the green light on it yet. Right now, it's stalled. They lost their director.
It would be the easiest movie to make.
It's off the board actually for this. They most likely aren't going to get their 2023 release at this point. So
has there ever been a successful ending to losing a director this far into one of these types of movies?
It doesn't go well. Usually, the film has massive
not just the director, like the main character. He's
Mashallah Ali is on his way out the door too. And then you have let's point to this. For a recent example of the catastrophic failure of losing directors or pushing them out and shifting actors, look at Solo, a boring story. And that. So there you are. Speaking of amazing humans, Rebecca Gold is here. What's going on there, my buddy?
Hey, man.
Is also known as the Mega Geek, amongst many other things. An incredible web series. Check out Rebecca Gold on YouTube. Why do trailers with a black cast always have rap music playing through them? A Ben Stiller movie trailer that doesn't have viewers music. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's a trend when they use hip hop in a lot of trailers now. In a lot of trailers, not just for like black focused properties, but in a lot of trailers now, and it doesn't fit. Cough, Rings of Power, cough. It's a common thing now.
Yeah. Is it better or worse than the trailers that had the dong part for the longest time?
The old school Hans Zimmer, you know.
I don't care as long as they have the record scratch sound when something.
Say what you will about the bong stuff, but I really liked Inception. I thought it was great.
No, that was great. Well, it's like the music from the the movie where they did drugs and stuff that they used for the Two Towers trailer, and then it suddenly became super popular again. Oh, wow, that's really obscure. Sorry. But there was like a song that actually was used in a movie, and then it got used as a trailer later, and then that was what made it popular. I don't know.
I believe you. Morb says something that is actually true. The mask is off. They admitted ROP was bad. They did. They had 3 separate puff pieces spaced out every day or every other day on the trades in support of this show. Again, from Morb. But if you don't like it, you are patently evil, meaning that you don't support the message. You are bad. That's exactly right. That's exactly the takeaway from those puff pieces. Yeah, you're evil because you don't support the message. There you go. Waterworld didn't do well because people were waterphobic. Indeed.
The water kept touching me inappropriately every time I dived in.
Brokeback Mountain. There's a film a lot of people saw.
It was the Birdcage.
Yeah. Didn't Magic Mike do well?
Yes.
Magic Mike appeals to everybody, dudes and chicks. Well, not me, but I mean, certain people.
It doesn't appeal to culture because he's
no. You know what? I went to see Magic Mike, and that story itself was so boring, and it was really generic. If you really go to see Magic Mike, you have to admit you're just going for the dancing.
Well, listen. Shirtless culture is going to be Magic Mike 3. Okay, that's going to happen.
Kenny Hayden's like gyrating on the floor.
Okay, so anyway, right below, the most important thing here is Keely Chow saying Wesley Snipes is Blade. Unarguable. Yes. Maybe we should bring him in and have him play that.
Here's the question, right? So this delay, right? Could it be actually a good thing for them because it will allow Deadpool 3 to come out, right? Theoretically. And if it does well, rated R, I mean, it could change the way that they're going to do Blade, right?
Yeah, you think that Deadpool 3 will make it into this year's release?
No.
Not this year, no. It'll probably
no, but I think that it'll still make it out before they even get their crap together for Blade.
That's undeniable. I mean, Ryan in charge of that, I think it's going to be fine. But, T Backpack, that's kind of fun, says there's loads of sitcoms with gay characters that people enjoyed. Yes, billions of them. Yeah. That stuff bothers me. I don't like the fact that they're trying to divide us. It frustrates me. But yeah, Uncle Fester is whiter than Tom. I know that's hard to imagine, but it's true. Nelson Neville says Requiem for a Dream. I think that's
yes. Thank you. That one was but what was the movie it was from? I can't remember it, but that was great song, but they killed it.
Speaking of Uncle Fester, I saw that Wednesday trailer, and I felt like it's like a copy and paste of Sabrina, the Netflix series.
I feel so bad for writing Raven right now.
There you go. White man's overbite. All right. James Caserta says vulture culture. There you go. That's kind of what it is a little bit. Blade is hopeless. From what I hear, it's not coming in. The actor didn't like it. They just hated the script, hated the lack of fight scenes and action and everything else. But that beyond all of that, they lost the director. They lost their direction. And again, it's because you how are you going to make that film? That was just reminds everybody that there was a fantastic film in character in set of films actually in Blade, going back to Wesley Snipes. So that's a good question. Yep. Yeah. And this is the whole conversation, a divided community for more easily controlled society. Yeah. Guess what? You're not going to divide us anymore. Even if I disagree with somebody on something, you know what? They're entitled to their opinion, and I will just attack their opinion and not them. That's the difference. Is the minute you start to engage in ad hominem attacks, right? That's when you lose. You've lost the argument, you lost the plot, and you've lost credibility. Try not to do that. You can do a certain amount of name calling, but to a certain extent, that's equally ineffective. Don't attack people. Attack their assertions. Attack their opinion. Attack their conclusions. And there's plenty of ways to go about doing that. But we got Willie, the Epic Monkey King for $4.99. Thank you, my friend. Says. Hi panel, about your attention economy video. Aren't pop culture pundits are a bit guilty as well, since they give air to those stories like bros? Yes, it's kind of something that I tried to address in the video, and it's why I've limited my conversation around bros for a reason, right? I mean, I'm not out there making a video about this. I don't think I made a video about it at all, but I'm certainly not. This is probably one of the only 2 times I've ever talked about it on stream. Is this? I try to limit what I'm drawing attention to, Willie. It's a good point, and it's one that I think more of us should be aware of, right? But there are certain issues I think we have to bring attention to, and we have to do it in a way that mocks them and undermines whatever messaging they're trying to do. There is a tightrope to walk, I will say. I mean, it is a balance, but I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try not to do that as regularly as maybe some others do. Well, I think that's a problem.
There's also a difference between like the way that you present it too, right? Like there's like glorifying things, and then there's like tearing it down, and then there's just like, you know, explaining it in just like news format, you know?
Yeah, and that's the other thing I try to do too. I mean, that's why the 6-minute daily is what it is, because usually the article or whatever it is I'm presenting on screen for those 6 minutes, I not only have read that article, but a lot of other related material, so I can boil it down to kind of what's happening. And, you know, because most people just read the headlines. I'm going to take that headline and I'm going to lay it out so that you understand what's behind that headline, because that's key. And I'm also working on a segment that is going to be completely different that Rhett and I are working on, which I'm going to present tomorrow's news today. I'm going to talk about the things that are about to be written or may be in the process of being written that are going to come out in the next day or a few days down the road that people are going to get a jump start on, so you can start to pay attention to that, because it's actually not as difficult as you think when you can predict trends. You can see trends coming a mile away, where things are headed. But I think that I would like to be part of a Mork and Mindy remake with Tom. I'm not sure why Tom gets to play Mork, but all right, that'll work. Yes, I'm
culture mocking.
Oh, Mock's got to go. Shoot. All right, Mock, tell everybody your stuff and things.
All right, so today is a very special Mockney Live, as it is I'm let's just say I'm making a promise to a friend, because I wasn't able to show up for Stream Friday, but I am we're doing an extended 1-year anniversary celebration with our guest Arwen Avalon. So come stop by for some fun, happy tears possibly, and just absolute lot of laughs. So.
Isn't there like a birthday? Somebody had a birthday recently.
Not possible, but so plenty to show up on Mockney Live. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. Thank you as always, everybody here. Love you guys, and I'll see you on over there.
Thanks, Mock. Yeah, do check out Mockney and his wonderful streams. You get to see some amazing drawing stuff that he does, and he's very talented. If you didn't notice, so. I always like to watch, especially his time lapses. Those are great too. But we have a couple super chats we need to get to, and we may dive into one more thing as we go. But if we look here, Pilgrim Media for $2 has been watching Marvel Daredevil. Great show. Yeah, the original one, indeed. Yep, from Netflix. Oh yeah, it was awesome. First 2 seasons were incredible. I liked the first season of Punisher. I didn't dislike this second season. I think John Barenthal's the only guy that could be Punisher at this point, even though he's a little short. But that's you guys have any thoughts on the Daredevil show Netflix?
No, it was bad.
I did not watch it.
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah. And then moving on, we've got a $10 super chat from our good friend Joker Voice, who has a channel. Keep talking, indeed. Hashtag says, what makes anyone think Deadpool is going to be good? Even if Ryan is in charge with Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso steering the ship, Ryan will be as in charge as Sam Raimi was. I don't think that's true. And hey, look, that's a guy that could walk away from that project at any moment.
Yeah, I agree with Culture on this one. I think that Ryan really has a hold on this one. But, maybe not. Maybe it'll go to crap. But honestly, out of all the things and all the options out there, I think that he's pulling for Deadpool, the character in the movie, before anything else.
I think the whole rated R section that is now being placed into Disney Plus was put there because of Deadpool. I don't think they're going to change it to a degree.
Yeah, actually, they are doing it so they have more leverage with Comcast.
Yeah,
because of Hulu.
Yeah, the whole Deadpool franchise. Honestly, if it was going to be the nonsense like we've seen before through Marvel and not like things like Deadpool, do you think Hugh, no matter how much money would have come back, there must have been a lot of stigmatations to get Wolverine to come back as well as Deadpool to sign on. Yeah. They're not going to take two movies and then shoot it out with the third with crap. But again, that's just my opinion. I think this is the only franchise out of very few that are going to maintain itself. And if it doesn't, it is going to turn off a whole nother group of the fandom that Marvel still has strong in.
They can't afford to do it.
They can't.
They can't. I mean, they may.
Yeah.
But they can't afford to do it, really.
Much like No Way Home was a Sony and Marvel thing, I feel like Deadpool's the exact same issue where you can have its own thing, like a Deadpool movie is going to be a Deadpool movie versus a Marvel movie.
And I think they have to do it that way. I think they have to. But speaking of have to, Rebecca Gold, hey, thanks for that, my friend. For £5 sterling, proper money, says, why hasn't the LGBTQ, etc., supported the Bros movie? Don't know. It was made for them, right? Sure. Why is the director blaming us for not going to see it? I don't know.
Because you don't like gay people.
Yeah, misplaced anger. I don't know. I don't really know. And that's the thing. If you ask most humans on the planet, especially here in the United States, do you think you're going to get an answer that they don't like gay people or lesbian people, et cetera, et cetera? Probably not. I think we grew beyond that in the late 90s. By the late 90s, I think we've been there already.
The way to look at that trailer, like I was saying earlier, and how I judge it is, I don't want to see a whole bunch of people acting stupid and making stupid jokes. I don't look at it like it's a movie with a whole bunch of gay people or whatever. It's just like, look, I'm looking at a trailer and it sounds stupid. The people look stupid. Therefore, I'm not going to go watch it. And I think that's just like the majority of people for this movie in general. I don't think that they looked at it and said, ew, gay people. They probably looked at it and been like, that looks stupid.
I mean, it didn't help that part of the trailer that they were utilizing to sell the film was straight people had a good run, huh?
I ran a poll on Twitter, actually, that may provide some insight here. And I said, what's more likely to be found? Jimmy Hoffa, Saddam's WMD's Life on Mars, or a Supreme
Pizza.
Supreme Pizza. And so, interestingly enough, people think that Jimmy Hoffa is more, and Life on Mars is more likely to be found than a Supreme Pizza.
There you go.
I would like to say something quickly when it comes to Bros. I think the main truth why people aren't going to see it is all because of monkeypox and mainstream media and monkeypox. That's what it is.
Probably.
That's how stupid. How stupid I sound right now. That's how.
Oh God!
And you're right. That's actually drawing a conclusion without enough information or facts. John Platt says John Barenthal has made the role of playing the Punisher his own, the same as RDJ made Tony Stark his role. Indeed, and that's the same with Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool. These are people that are not separable from their role. You just can't do it. And you would have to wait quite a period of time. And you would have to have a standout player to make that happen. So we'll have to see what happens. But Yeah, audience blaming has been an easy way out for years now, except that we already know the playbook. We call it out before it happens. So it really has lost its power. And speaking of people who are powerful, Mephisto's movie reviews finally back home. Hey, what's up? Check out Mephisto's movie reviews. Great channel, excellent takes, lots of fun, very well informed and researched movie reviews and conversations with a lot of different creators on YouTube, Rumble, etc. And the nice thing about it is you don't know who you're going to find there week to week. Could be Gary, could be Drinker, could be Tom, could be one of these people that really know an awful lot about storytelling. And then of course I was on there too, which means there wasn't very much information there at all. You have of course Latino Slant saying hi to everybody. It's good to see you, Paul. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And Tech Druid says something that I think a lot of people would agree with. Absolutely do not trust Disney. I don't think a lot of people do right now. I cancel all my streaming services and I'm going back to my books. And I think a lot of people have done that, to be honest with you. And they've gone back to their old collected physical media. And you got people like this guy writing books. Amir Sphere's Origin. Yeah, pointing at his book.
Oh, a mini sphere.
He yells at you on Twitter too if you don't mention his book when people are asking for recommendations about books. Even though he commented about his book previously, he'll go to your comment and yell at you afterwards.
What? Actually, I do have a promotion at the end that another book I want to promote too.
And this is the truth. Also, T Backpack says people are aware that they are not telling stories but trying to engineer society. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sorry. Most people are awakening. I'm not saying they're completely awake, but they're awakening. And I'm not saying woke, kids. I'm saying awakening. And they're awakening to this stuff. But physical media forever? Yes, that's true. The Tomb of Dracula, indeed. Yeah, instead of Game of Thrones, Hot D, and ROP, watch The Last Kingdom. Yeah, it's a show nobody ever talks about, and it beats all of those hands down. A lot of people love that.
Or Edge Runners.
Yeah, Edge Runners was great. Yeah, the cyberpunk. Yep, indeed. If you like that universe, you betcha.
Yeah,
Tom,
really good.
Tom likes turtles. Tom likes turtles. And the Guild Man has graced us with his presence. I hope you're doing well, Thomas. He says, I don't want to see Bros because it doesn't look fun or interesting.
Yeah,
well done.
That's a good reason not to see it.
Yeah. And I also don't like an actor calling me homophobic for not watching it. That's true. One or two of my friends really liked it though. Okay. That's awesome to hear. But I mean, I don't want to see hookup culture portrayed in any way. But that's a personal preference of mine. But you know what, Thomas? I'm with you, man. Anti-marketing, controversy marketing, whatever you want to call it, anything that like tries to take advantage or leverage the attention economy, I'm just going to start calling out. Attention economy exploiter, blah, 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 said this today. I think I may start to do that. And maybe it'll bring more attention to the fact that there is an attention economy. I've got 125 of you right now that are paying attention to this stream. And let me tell you, I value that. You know why? You're paying your attention. You have a limited amount of time on this planet and every single day. And if you spend the time watching the content I put together, the live streams that I participate in, thank you, because it's valuable. And I know that. And I don't think enough people say thanks for that. Thank you. I want to say thanks to all my wrenches too, as a matter of fact. And go ahead, Stephen.
Thanks, man.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Well, there is another thing too. Let's kind of reverse the whole bros actors accusations. Be like this: hey, did you watch this straight show? No, well, I guess you're straight phobic or you're cis phobic.
Yeah.
Like you mean there was no gay people in that? You didn't want to watch it because there was no gay people? Well, you must be straight phobic. Like it's stupid. It's childish. It's high school. Just when you hear actors do, honestly, actors should be banned from social media until their film comes out before they start pointing fingers. Because at the end of the day, it's not the people who don't want to watch it. It's the content that was provided that failed.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to watch a rom-com. How dare you? You know, like it's just like a genre kind of thing.
It's like saying
like people. Yeah.
Sorry. It's like people not liking like Friday the 13th series. Well, he only used a machete. How dare he? I was hoping for a spatula. I am machete phobic.
Well, I'm not, and I have to tell you, I think Machete was a lot of fun as far as the film. Anyway, jumping off from there,
Machete, the actual film.
Oh my god! Okay,
it was a joke. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't a good joke. It was a joke. Anyway,
I know.
Dude, Machete was awesome. Thanks very much.
Thunderduck asked the question that we answered in the first 25 minutes of the stream. I did not like Daredevil and She-Hulk. I thought there was a lot of character destruction there. Even though I know in the comics that there was some engagement in activities between the two. First of all, I just didn't like it. I like my Daredevil, the street level tough, defender guy. I don't really like him as the hookup culture guy with the walk of shame.
Oh my God. Okay, can I highlight that, please?
Which?
Okay, that episode, he was very emphasizing on the whole fact of secret identity and anonymous like identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can't tell me that someone didn't take a picture or see Daredevil in costume walking home, walk of shame, middle of the day, and someone's not going 2 and 2. Why is Daredevil all of a sudden in this state? And who else has just came to the state? You don't tell me no one's going to recognize this stuff. Like, she didn't even hire him a cab to go home or to his car. That makes no sense. You're literally okay, they got their sexual scene, and then they just forgot the rest of the plot halfway through.
Well, they don't have to think these things out logically. They don't think that someone's going to be out there to worry about it in the first place.
You telling me if you didn't see Daredevil walking down your street, you're not going to pull out your phone and take a picture?
No, I meant the writers don't think there would actually be human beings outside to be there to witness it. But they didn't think that they needed to worry about that. That's the way I perceive it.
I'm going to give them props, though. They were diverse in one thing in that episode. They called both the male and the female a slut. So I'm happy with that one. At least they did something diverse in that one. And equality right there.
Yeah, well, I look, and like a lot of people are like, well, you can't slut shame people. I'm like, well, okay, but you cast judgments in a lot of other ways. So if somebody's going to judge you, best not judge anyone else, folks. And you know what? These shows can't help themselves. They are full of judgment, and they are incredibly demeaning to intelligent people because they think everybody's dumb.
It's like chucking rocks in a glass house.
Guys don't walk home in shame. They run.
They do it in their shoes. Let me tell you, you want good traction when you're sprinting away from it.
I think that was a slight. I think that was kind of like them trying to be like a meme, and they were trying to tell the people watching and criticize. I should have touched grass.
It didn't work, and believe me, they need to touch some grass or smoke some grass. Anyway, Katina Martin for 97 likes. Yes, Katina, we are at 97. Please, nice. I need 3 more or more. You know what? If you haven't hit the like button, consider doing it. It's 128 of you in here now.
We are at 102 now.
Pretty please. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And it's all because of Katina. Well, it's because of all of you anyway. Thank you all. You guys are great. Apollomy says something. She's Apollomy says, I think they call you they call you not to watch because it's not for you. That's true. They do. Yeah. They assume that people will do the opposite. Yeah, that doesn't work that way. Now, we've all learned this lesson. This film isn't made for you. Yes. In this show isn't made for you. She-Shrek is not made for She-Shrek. Excuse me. Yeah, I agree with that.
The thing is, you're right. Everyone's right. And that's the main line. It's not made for you. We're not the audience they're going for anymore. You get whether it's in politics,
you don't know who the audience is.
Yes, we do. We see it in school. We see it in politics. It's the young generation. It's the kids to teenagers. That is where the next future money is coming from.
But they're turning them off, dude.
Not all of them. You still have
the vast majority of them. I have young people that I occasionally have contact with in my family that have no interest in any of these things. These nieces, nephews are always going to be my barometer for if something's going to be accepted or not.
I feel like the people who are watching it and enjoying it are like in their 30s and older. Like my niece is the same way. She tried watching the shows and lost interest.
Yeah. I think that they know what their audience is, and it's not a wine mom as much as that's fun to say. It's the I wish I had kids wine person at home, and I'm sorry. I said it. Rogue Thinker says, attention well spent. Oh, thank you. Glad to be here, CC. Well, I'm glad that you're here, Rogue Thinker. And you know what? The Gilk Man with his wallet open today. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate the $19.99 super chat. Says, I do trust Disney to a certain extent. Okay. I think they can put out good stuff if they really want to. I agree with that. I think that with Deadpool, it's a passion project for Reynolds, and I think he's in control and he won't let them ruin it. I think those are definitely true statements. You know, and as someone mentioned in the chat, he is somewhat more progressive than, you know, any of us would like. But again, it's one of the ways to stay relevant in Hollywood is to try to stay on the cocktail list party. Although he doesn't really need to worry about it. Dude's fabulously wealthy now because of his alcohol brands. But, you know, Thomas, I see where you're coming from. I don't know that I can give Disney the amount of trust that I used to have in them, or even the amount of interest I used to have in them. And that's sad.
You know, his Ryan Reynolds interview, I don't know if you've seen it on the David Letterman, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, but he actually seemed surprisingly not woke during that. He seemed like a real person. One of the better interviews Letterman's done.
Do you think maybe it's because he is trying to have broader appeal, and so he plays the game to go, you know?
Yeah,
I think everybody in Hollywood does that, but
yeah. The question is, do you know who's authentic in Hollywood? Is there anyone? I mean, honestly, is there someone that you can point to?
Keanu Reeves.
Is there someone you can point to who's authentic in Hollywood? Keanu Reeves is a good choice. I mean, I've heard.
Who's the guy that got framed for that Black Dahlia murder? You have to go back pretty far. Sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's
wow.
Disney can't afford, after spending all the money on Hugh, to have Deadpool 3 fail.
Well, and you consider this. There are a lot of Marvel films coming out, and I project only one of them this next year in 2023 will approach $1 billion.
We are hitting the dead season, right? Because October, there's nothing really coming.
We're way past the dead season. We've been in the dead season for a while, which is why, you know, we're talking about Billy Eichner's complete flop, the Don't Worry Darling complete flop, Woman King flop. That's why we're talking about all these flops. Because these are films that were never supposed to get this kind of exposure and release. And
you know what didn't flop?
Which thing? Which one?
The cancel culture of Nick Rekieta. Hell yeah.
Okay, well, now Nick's doing all right. Nick's doing all right. But Midnight's Edge After Dark says Billy can't gripe about gay people not seeing his movie because even if every gay person in America went to see his movie, it probably would not be enough to cover the box office still. You know, and Logic Finest, of course, follows up with raises the 800-pound gorilla in the room. I just think that there are a lot of people that have you know, more family values in the LGBTQ community, and you know, there's a small sliver of folks that are into hookup culture. I think it ultimately comes down to what people in the chat have been saying. I think there was limited market for hookup culture. I really do.
Yeah, there's Sex in the City people. Yeah. There's a lot of them out there, but I think that they're mismarketing this. If anything, they should have sold it like a Sex in the City show and been like, hey, this kind of people come watch it.
But again, I mean, a lot of people that were the Sex and the City fans, they're not going to be able to identify with a lot of the stuff that was happening in that film. You know, so again, I mean, it all comes down to that. And Chris Gore said it in one of his recent videos. I don't know if you guys aren't subscribed to Film Threat, you should be. Chris Gore's channel, but he talked about the fact that he couldn't get his gay review folks to go and see the film. The people that work for him that are gay.
Man. They just looked at it and judged it as a stupid movie.
Yeah.
You can look at hookup culture pretty easily. Reality television has over-insaturated the whole market with it. Why go to a movie about a bunch of gays when you can just watch?
I don't know. Maybe it's internalized homophobia.
That's probably it with misogyny on top.
Look, more people are interested in what they can find on their computer or on a Twitch stream than they are in a lot of that kind of stuff on the film screen. But anyway, it is what it is. But the Gilk Man for $4.99 sends another super chat. Thomas is paying for the show today. On the subject of She-Hulk, I haven't watched it since the third episode because it just seemed lame and stupid. I'm rewatching the Marvel Netflix stuff. I think a lot of us do that, Thomas, and I'm on board with you, dude. I mean, I wouldn't be watching it except that the boss and I, once the last episode airs, are going to record our final review. Be prepared for that. The boss is not like the show at all.
So can someone answer like a actual businessy question? Now that Daredevil's over on Disney, does Disney control the Netflix marketing or like the sales of that? What was that?
Say that again. Ask that again.
If Disney now has Daredevil, right? Like as far as like the Netflix version of that show, like the DVD or Blu-ray sales and stuff like that, is that under Disney's belt now, or is that still like Netflix's wheel?
Disney. They lost.
Okay, then I would recommend everybody go buy physical copies of it, because since Disney has it now, they can actually go in and edit it and soften it down and change the rating on that stuff. They've done it before. So if you really like the Netflix version, I would say go do that.
Yeah, if you can find it, or just make physical copies yourself, because it can you can do it. But I just want to say thanks to Thomas once again. That's amazing support, my friend. Appreciate you. I wish I was going to see you in Orlando, bro. And you know what? People disagree with me all the time, Dr. Dragon, but you're still here and you're always at the 6 Minute Daily, so it's fine. And
plus, we love you guys.
And plus, you always bring me a cup of coffee, and I need it. Every 6 Minute Daily requires coffee. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is awesome. Top Gun is not going to be replaced at the box office this year as the #1 film. I'm telling you that right now. Disease is in the house saying, Wes. Indeed, Wes.
Hail Disease.
Master exacerbators. I love my chat. You guys are incredible. All right, here we go. We got Glenzer for $5 saying the past 2 years, left us said, wear a mask, isolate, etc. Now they cry when people don't go to the theaters. Well, yeah. It wasn't good. It's not good. Don't break that habit. And yeah, you forced it. Season 3 of Daredevil DVD is very hard to find. 1 and 2 are still available. That's true. Yeah,
yeah, go get them while you can, guys. Well, seriously.
If Disney they're not going to make Deadpool PG-13, Curtis. I promise. It would be DOA. You're right, but no, they're gonna. It's getting the R. It's not getting the hard R. It's getting the R.
Yeah. And I'm just saying for Netflix in particular, just because the way they rate and like the violence level of the first few seasons might, be problematic if they want it to be on a streaming service.
Yeah. So. And this is an interesting thing, Sonder. Avatar 2 will bomb. I think it's going to be a bellwether, because they're already through editing the first act of the fourth one.
Oh Jesus.
And they're getting ready to get started on the 5th one.
Whoa.
And I think what's going to happen is Disney's going to own 3 more films after this, in joint custody with Lightstorm Entertainment, which is Cameron and I want to say Landau, I think is his last name. But that's going to be very, very bad. I think this could be very, very bad. I think a lot of people are not going to like the messaging that's in Way of Water. So it very possibly could bomb. I don't know. There's not enough information yet. We'll see how I feel in about a month. Well, about a month out, I'll start giving my ideas around it. I don't think it's going to perform right now. And you'll see in the video I have, I think coming up tomorrow on Monday, that film I think is cooking at 1.2 billion projection wise at max. And it's not going to get anywhere close to its domestic, the domestic run that it had for the first film at all. So just FYI, even with the adjustment for inflation, it's crazy.
And if you haven't seen the first Avatar movie, it's not a loss. Honestly, the whole thing that sold it the first time around was the 3D, because the story is generic. The acting, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it, was very generic. And it was just like an action movie. And if you really want a plot that's exactly the same, but actually well done, just go watch I think it was from the 90s, the cartoon movie Fern Gully. It's got Tim Curry voicing the bad guy, and it's got Robin Williams as a voice, and it has the exact same plot, but it's better.
What about Ernest Goes to Camp? That's the same plot.
Well, I think slightly different kind of writing, maybe.
Yeah, Dr. Dragon.
You have like turtles parachuting in. It's cool.
Dr. Dragon says, I think Avatar 2 will underperform. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know if it'll bomb outright. I don't think it will, but it will not make the kind of money it did in the first film. And you're right. I mean, he is very petty. He wants to stay on top. Titanic and Avatar get re-released all the time, and this time the excuse was in promotion of the upcoming film. But that thing didn't do very well. It kind of hit a wall. Although it did beat the garbage that was in the theaters because there is no competition right now, which is why when things like Billy Eichner's film go down the toilet, and when, again, I just brought up a list. Don't Worry, Darling, The Woman King, we can keep going. Amsterdam, right? That's, I think, a Disney film that I really wanted to be good, is supposedly very terrible. It's earning like next to nothing. Technically already DOA at the box office. Not good. We got Heron of Alexandria for $5. Thank you for that, Heron. Says Avatar had almost no cultural impact. That's perfectly stated. I don't know how more perfectly you could say it. So concisely. But I called it Pocahontas in space when it came out. I think a lot of people were on board with that description right there.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
It's all the same story.
I'm like, and I got to ask, because I mean, outside of the 3D thing, which I think I highlighted a chat for that, outside of the 3D thing, what compelled you to see Avatar? Let's start with Wes. Wes, what compelled you to see the first film?
Well, around the office, some people had free tickets, and they said, "Hey, you want to go see Avatar?" And I'm like, "What's that?" They said it's 3D, and I said, "Well, I don't have anything else to do." And then we got drinks beforehand, and so yeah, that's why I saw Avatar.
All right. Yeah. And all right, Mirasphere, you're up.
I was in Afghanistan. I saw it on a Russian dub burn DVD.
Wow! So you didn't even see it in the theater.
Yeah. So it was like, what is this? It looked pretty, but we couldn't tell what was going on because it's all in Russian. All right, there's something to watch, and we were.
Yeah.
Afghanistan.
Yeah. I seem to recall Michael Jackson dying sometime around the time that movie came out too, right? Wasn't that a thing? Didn't that happen?
Yeah, there's Blackiest is something relevant here, and then we'll get to Steven's take on it. Not everyone can watch 3D. This is true. I think I read might be as many as 20% can't for various reasons, and that's true. A lot of people will get sick doing it because of for whatever reason. A lot of it's probably because of the way the frame rate in their brain sync or don't.
Or they wear glasses.
The only actual 3D movie I actually seen was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. It was terrible.
Yeah,
so bad at 3D.
But it was probably pretty good. Speaking of which, okay, so Steven, what compelled you to see the first Avatar film?
Honestly, I don't remember. That's why I didn't rewatch it.
Okay, so it
was a one shot.
And that speaks to the lack of cultural impact that it had. And again, the chat's brilliant as always. AFK, I know you've already given some thoughts on Avatar, but what was the compelling reason that you went to see Avatar?
Well, I am actually a really picky person when it comes to animation styles. Like, if it turns me off, like, I'll generally not want to watch it. And I didn't like the style of the blue guys in the trailer. So I wasn't actually going to see it at all, but I went because my dad was like, dude, it looks, it's 3D. I really want to check it out. So I went with him, and it honestly, like, that was the first like full movie 3D experience I had ever had. Oh, so wow. I admit, like, it was super cool for me. Like, there were parts where like my glasses, I'd have to adjust them because I wear glasses and had to put them over my glasses. And then I would be like, holy crap, wait, it's not 3D, like you get so used to it. So like, I thought it was really cool, but like, I saw it for what it kind of was, in my opinion, which was, all the shiny stuff on top, and the story itself was really generic. And it was kind of funny that when I got home, my dad was like, what an awesome movie. I want to go watch it again. And I was like, yeah, nah.
Well, and I get that gets to some of what Rogue Thinker is saying here. The first Avatar was great. I think it was good. Great. Yeah, I don't know. The visuals were stunning, and that's true. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Yeah,
a lot
it was beautiful.
was the same thing. But at the same time, right? It was good entertainment. But because I don't think it had the impact on people that a lot of people would think. Because I don't think, I mean, as many times as some people went to re-see it, that number got less and less. And because of the hype, you had more sets of eyeballs go see it than even repeat visitors. And, it was probably the first breakout because that's the first time that particular kind of tech had been used. Then it started to get used on everything. And then it just became, And I think that's actually true.
Yeah, like, I think that if this movie is going to do well, it needs to be a good story. Because they can't sell it on the pretty, I don't think. Well, I mean, there's still going to who'd be like, "Oh, 3D," and they go see it. But I mean, like, it won't be the same as it was when the first one came out.
Yeah, and Kate says, I thought the acting was good in Avatar, but it's hard to portray good acting when the writing is mediocre.
Right?
Well, again, it's a story that, as I think Logic's Finest said, is something that we've seen a zillion times over. I look, it has a lot of positives. It has some negatives. I'm just going to say I don't think the film's going to perform like the first one did, not even close. And it doesn't have to. But
well, there's also this huge space between the movies too. Like, what kids are going to have that attachment now? You know, like there's a whole like generation of people who'd be like, "What is Avatar?"
One thing that will help it, right, is that it will be only competing with the tail end of Black Adam and the second or third week audience or fourth week audience from Wakanda Forever, right? So it's not like there's going to be a lot that you could go see around the holiday window.
I was going to say you could snub it by watching one of the other movies, but I don't want to watch one of those other movies. Dang it.
John Platt sent us a super sticker for $1.40. Excuse me, not a dollar, a £1.49 sterling, which is a banana or like a slippy banana. Oh, I don't want to slip on this slope. I think I already have, though. We've been talking about this way too long. Nano Reaper was like, Avatar was just really expensive. Fern Gully in space. A lot of people have said stuff like that. I think that a lot of folks would agree with you. AFK, then your dad gone to the store and bought the DVD. Well, a lot of people bought that DVD. It was one of the first 3D DVDs or Blu-rays, I should say, that you could get. For the new 3D TVs and the 3D players, right?
You know, he never actually went and bought it because we didn't have anything to play it with, you know, like that would actually make it that like worth it. So yeah, but he wanted to go back and see it when it was like back in the theaters a while ago. So he did that. I didn't go with him though.
Yeah, we're in a weird place. Do you guys ever hear me say that? I say that quite often.
No, that's it in a nutshell. You know, subtitle for life.
Let's talk a little bit about this while we start to wind down over the course of the next little bit of time. Soul Assassin asks, do you think the Mario film will end on a cliffhanger and the princess will be in another film in the Nintendo Cinematic Universe? That would not surprise me. But Nintendo is really trying to flesh itself out as a complete franchise, not just with gaming, not just this theme park stuff, not just with films, but just the whole package. And yeah, I think they're trying to build out a universe. Will they do that? I don't know. But I do know this: a lot of people weren't super stoked about Chris Pratt just being Chris Pratt as Mario. What do you think, Wes?
That sounds very weird. No, I think focus on games, Nintendo. That's what you need to do. Games and good hardware.
Oh no, we lost AFK. Phone probably got cooked.
Yeah. I just said something about if it happens. But yeah, no, I think it looked good. Yeah, he doesn't really sound like Mario, but we'll see. I'm gonna give it a chance though. I do like Chris Pratt.
If you're looking for a better version of that trailer, it's over on Mad Mardigan's channel, Mad Barber Entertainment. He re-released the trailer with a much better voiceover.
You know, what'd be cool is if they end up going to one of the Boo houses and it's just a bunch of Bob Hoskins running around.
That would be so great. That would be so great. Oh, thank you, OC Dobbins. I appreciate it. Are you looking forward to it at all? Does anybody here looking forward to the Super Mario Brothers movie?
I'm looking forward to it. That's a movie I could take all my kids to go see.
Yeah.
And they'll enjoy. So we'll see.
I feel like that's gonna be there's such a dearth of kids content now because they're flooding it onto their streaming services. I think that might be a hook. Steven, thoughts? Mario Brothers? Any?
I'll give it a watch, but at the end of the day, it depends if Nintendo can deliver the same type of entertainment they do in their games with that, right? But they have a huge fan base when it comes to Nintendo, right? Nintendo has a huge following. So even if, like, let's say people are not into like that type of film, like Sonic, it's going to have its popularity. It all depends on how it's delivered.
And what's amazing is, and this is fun, Hunch actually threw something out here that a lot of people haven't heard of. For $5, Hunch the Dirty Roofer says, what about Devotion? That's November 23rd. That's coming out right before Christmas. So there will be a little more competition than I suggested. It's definitely about a real hero in a real war. And no one wants to talk about it. Rather, you rage about fictional characters. Sad. Well, I just spoke about it. It is... it's out there. It'll be out there in theaters. You'll get an opportunity to check out both. Trying to remember Jonathan Majors and I can't remember who else is in this film, but it's out there on the horizon, and it's well worth somebody's time. There are films out there we don't talk about, that we should probably. So this is a good point, Hunch. I appreciate that, and thanks for the $5 super chat. Hopefully, everybody gets a look at that. To be honest with you, it is nice to find some good. It is nice to find some good quality films and some good, honestly, historically based stories rather than something like The Woman King. So well done there. Reverend Jim says something about Ron Jeremy. I don't know. I mean, that's weird. Running with Scissors asks a question. Good to see you, Running. Says, any thoughts, predictions, fears for Arcane 2 from the panel? I'm looking forward to it. What about you, Wes? Have you seen Arcane?
I have not.
Mirrorsphere? Mirrorsphere? You got a little one behind you.
Yeah.
I don't think you can hear us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. What did you think about Arcane 2?
Arcane 2?
Wait, what? Have you seen Arcane 1? Have you seen Arcane?
Oh, yeah, I saw Arcane, yeah.
All right, well, Arcane 2 is coming. Do you have any thoughts or predictions, fears?
I hope it's good. Arcane 1 was great, so.
Yeah, at this point, I can only hope. A lot of it's going to depend on the direction they decide to go. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there that I thought was pretty heavy-handed. I don't know, Steven, your thoughts?
I'm excited for season 2. The first one was great.
You have any concerns?
No, because at this point, there's no point of having concerns because it's either going to do bad or it's going to do good. That's just the trend.
Yeah. Kate says again, I heard the trailer that everyone was ripping as Mario's voice was dubbed in French, which tends to sound goofy to begin with. Oh, I didn't know that. Look, I didn't care about the voice when you go back, backing up to what we were talking about with Mario. I don't care. I'm not exactly the target for that. I'll probably see the film. If there are a lot of negatives about it, if people I trust are telling me it's terrible, then I probably won't see it. I don't like to waste my time or money. That's why it's important that 125 of you are still here, and I say thank you for being here because paying attention is expensive. You don't have a lot of free time. We lost Curtis. He had to go. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. You guys are having great conversations in the chat. I can't say enough about that. But we got Apex out there promoting his book. We got our buddy Mirrorsphere, who's here on the panel promoting his book. The Independent Creators of the Way we're going to
my book. I'll share with something. It's a different book that by a person I know. But I shared the screen if you want to pop it up real quick.
Yeah, sure. What do we got here?
It's called The Shot by William B. And he is my squad leader in Afghanistan. This is his book about an event that happened that I was present for.
Wow.
And his struggles from he got really badly injured in an IED explosion. And he's been struggling with the VA and stuff like that. So this book is filled with this time during his war and all the struggles he's been dealing with after the war, and it's helped to bring people to light what's going on with certain kind of events and some people's problems with the VA and he's been fighting for a medical discharge, not a
it seems to be a constant problem is difficulty with the VA. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll plug up
that looks amazing. Bring up the link. There's the description. Do check out this book. You're welcome to share that, Mirrorsphere. That's fine.
Let's see if I can share this image real quick. But if you see this,
I'm sorry. Okay, wait. Wait, I tried to add it to the stream. There we go. Oh, dang!
This event happened. I was about 10 feet away. A sniper hit just right here and exploded right in his face, the dirt.
Dang!
And the camera caught it perfect. It was a perfect time to go and got the this picture, and that was Sergeant B right there. He was at this point a 6 or 7 deployment Marine combat. So he's a great dude. Freaking.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people fighting with the VA, and a lot of people spend years doing it. It's not an uncommon problem. So yeah, feel free to share that out. That was an amazing time to get that picture. So it's vertical horizon, indeed. But look, we need to wrap it up, and I want to promote the man, the myth, the legend, Wes of Whatever Cast. Your new employer is doing fine by you, sir. Your studio looks amazing.
Well, thank you. Yes, it turns out there's a discount on 70s decor, shag carpets, and ashtrays and tube TVs. Just hit your local thrift store, and horse related merchandise. Well, YouTube, they do that for free.
I think that's great. I would love to promote your merch. I think it's awesome. So,
mental note: make merch. Okay, so you can find me. I am Wes of Whatever Cast. I talk about pop culture, current events, and whatever the heck I want to, because it is my YouTube channel. Which I'm not sure how much longer we can be on YouTube, but fingers crossed. You can find me at youtube.com/whatevercastofficial, and hope to see you there. Or not. Whatever.
Thank you for that, Wes. Wes is awesome. Check out his channel. Whenever I can get there, which has been a long time because he does stuff at night, or you do a lot of solo stuff now. But I'm a weirdo. I'm just getting old. Let's just be honest. You got Mirrorsphere. Yeah, Mirrorsphere here. He's got books. He's got stuff to talk about. He's got kids. I don't know if you noticed, but he's also got the mute button on.
Lots of kids. Yes. Yeah. No, thank you all for coming. We had fun. Please hang out. Yeah, this is the link to my book. Definitely check out the shot by him. He's right now on his signing tour because he actually got published. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's good to see him out and getting about and doing stuff. He's one of the best, probably one of the best Marines I've ever known, and so fucking love it. All right, but thank you all, and I'll see you guys next time. And also, if you've got my book and you've read my book, please leave a review. Culture, I know you read it, so if you could leave a review.
Oh yeah, no. I've got a list of
whatever.
I have a list of book reports to do. You're one of them. The boss and I are going to be doing a breakdown of Kai's book. I'm going to interview her about that. Right there. Yeah, and then the minute she reads yours, I'll do the same thing. I'll interview her about the book. So I think it's better if I actually do the interview, because then it's comes into a conversation. So yeah, I figured that out when I did an opening not that long ago. But speaking of an opening, wow, that was not a good segue. Fat Steven, what's up, buddy?
Wow, thank you. What am I doing?
You're promoting yourself, bro.
Yeah, you know me. I have a channel. I do community streams. Took today off. I'm currently editing a video for another game coming out. It's like, if you want good sci-fi, it looks like it has promise. I'm not going to mention the title just yet, but that stream will come later. Other than that, thank you for having me. You can find me on the lunch table, Pop Culture Minefield, and your local grocery store.
That's true.
Happy Thanksgiving, Canadians.
Yeah,
that is
you guys are incredible. I Stump Brett says, I asked Kai to make an audiobook and read it to me. Well, there you go. Kai's a fun guy. He's got a lot of, and Wes knows he has a ton of energy. When you get you get around him, it's like between him and Nick, it's like they literally could power the earth.
I want to make an audiobook too. That is expensive, so I gotta wait till I make enough to do that. But yes.
Yeah, I did see Counterpart. Counterpart was brilliant. Yeah, it would. It's too bad they canceled it. It was a great show. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying audiobooks, because they have a thing through Draft to Digital that's partnered with an audiobook maker, and you can they got lists of audio people, but most of them are around $2,000 to $3,000 higher for the full book. So it's like, oof. But if I make from this book, I can fund it. But we'll see.
Well, let's see. Let's get that going for you. And on that note, I'm Culture Casino. This is my channel. I talk about pop culture and entertainment. If you didn't know that, well, Now you do. And if this is your first time on the channel and you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. I do make content throughout the week. You get the 6-minute daily every weekday, which is a lot of fun in the morning, just a blast of news and entertainment news that I think keeps you from having to look at anything. Which, let me tell you right now, the fact that I suffer through it all might be time saving. And again, your time is valuable. I appreciate all the time that you've spent here today. Don't take it for granted at all. And for those of you who are members, be looking forward to at the end of this coming week either another member stream or a High Rollers stream. And with that, I will say it what I always do. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time,
wash your hands.
See ya.
I gotta fix Wes's thing. Dang it.